Hi, I'm Jean, I'm 20 years old, and for the last 15 years of my life, I've been practicing piano every day for an hour. Now, what differentiates my practices from a lot of different pianists is that I've learned everything on my own, not following a single lesson, learning music theory and reading music sheets, or following videos of hands playing on a keyboard. I've learned everything by trial and error, and by listening to what sounded good on the piano. Recently, I've started making money online using Fiverr and selling my piano work. It's a great feeling, but now I want to start to teach other people how to play piano. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about why you should start learning a new instrument, and if learning on your own is the right thing for you, and if so, how to do it. The first question that might come to your mind right now is, why didn't I follow a single piano lesson? Why couldn't I do like every other pianist and just follow a class? It's not very expensive. Well, the thing is that I've received 10 years of guitar lessons when I was young, and I had to choose between piano and guitar. As I had already started learning piano on my own, even if I didn't have a great level, I thought, well, maybe I should start to learn a new instrument that I probably never will learn on my own, because the difficulty level is very different, and I should keep on trying to learn piano on my own. And looking back at it, two things come to my mind. The first thing is that I enjoy playing piano probably more than I do guitar, and I play much more piano than I do guitar. And the second thing is that, yes, indeed, I could have had a huge head start by trying to learn piano using just a few basic lessons and understanding how it works. But it would also have probably killed a lot of my creativity when it comes to the approach to a new keyboard and my vision on how it works. Because when I look at my different friends that play piano, I see that their approach to music is very different from mine. It's not bad, it's just different. Here is a question for you. These recent years, we've seen an incredible amount of new pianists. It's amazing how approachable piano has become because the information became much more widely available. But at the same time, why are most well-known pianist composers all from the 18th and 19th centuries? I really wonder, because if we have more pianists, we should have more Chopin and Mozart. And we have amazing pianists today, but we can all agree that legendary pianists are from ages ago, not these recent years. The reason is that very strict classes often kill creativity. Sometimes they spark creative ideas into people's minds, and some very creative people have very creative ideas as soon as they get lessons. But it's not the case for most people, and it's very difficult before starting to know if it's going to kill your creativity or not following lessons. Here is a little parallel that we can make with the history of guitar. If you look back at it, for years guitarists have been taught a very strict position and a strict way to learn guitar. And we've had amazing guitar players. But at some point, guitarists started to change. Some guitarists started approaching guitar very differently. The position was much more relaxed, and their guitar varied hugely, having metal strings and different bodies. And this sparked the arrival of electric guitar, which was a blessing to the music scene, because we've seen amazing guitar players arrive with different styles and different approaches to this art. It opened a huge new world to different composers, and that means a lot. Breaking the common conception of what guitar should be caused a renewal of the art, and it was very important. Now, this hasn't really happened for piano, because we still learn and have the same position as before. And it's true that you can't really change the position, but the way to learn has changed a bit. We've seen a number of people learning using online means, and that's great. What still hasn't changed a lot is the conception that you can't play piano without learning music sheets. And that's a very bad one. If your goal in life is to be a legend, another thing is important to keep in mind. It's much more important to compose than to perform. If you think about it, a performer only plays what another composer created, and all the credit goes to the composer. When someone plays Mozart, it's Mozart that gets the most glory out of it. The composer is the most important piece. If you replace the composer, it becomes a very different piece. But if you replace the performer, It's almost the same thing, and it should be, because the composer planned the music for the performer to do exactly as he intended. So to recap, we can say that music classes are very likely to kill creativity, and that a performer is less important than a composer. So you should probably be a composer without following music classes. Is that right? Well, probably, but is it possible to create piano pieces without following strict classes? Is it possible to learn how to compose a piece without learning what keys to press or not and why? Is it possible to compose something that is truly yours and still not follow the lessons of the masters? And is it possible to play piano without learning the sheets by heart? Yes, 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 and yes again. I did all this. I learned everything on my own. I can compose almost anything from almost anything. I can make a cover of almost any music just by listening to it. And the possibilities are endless. Here, take a look at this example, just listening to a random ringtone. Okay, I just realized that I had not explained something. In the recording you're going to hear, it's not a perfect recording, but it was the only one I did. I clicked on record and then listen to ringtone. I clicked on random ringtone on YouTube, and that's what you should expect to be able to do after a bit of work. It's not too difficult. It's quite fun, and yeah, it's what I'm trying to show you. It's in a natural environment. This is how it would turn out in theory. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. I like it. Yeah, just take a listen. Honestly, I'm not the greatest pianist ever, and you can probably be much better than I am just by practicing a bit. So I've said that piano classes kill the creativity, and what I might say next is going to be a bit counterintuitive. I think that the greatest way to improve on piano playing, or just straight to learn piano, is to follow piano classes, but not any piano classes. I think that what you should learn is what keys to press and why, not just what keys to press and what keys to press next, because otherwise, this way, you're going to play exactly like a robot. You're going to know how to decipher a music sheet, but you're never going to learn how to play piano on your own, blindfolded, or without looking at the keyboard, or without looking at a music sheet. So you should learn what keys to press and why, but you should also learn how to change the mood, the rhythm, the variations, how to make it truly yours. Possibilities are endless. We see so many different pieces on the piano that are great, and it doesn't really matter what you think is great on the piano. You probably have a good idea of what you want to play. If it's jazz, if it's classical, if it's some form of pop cover, the choice is yours. And as I went through all this on my own, I want to teach you the general lessons I've learned. I want to teach you how to approach a keyboard for the first time. I want to give you a vision of how I see the keyboard, how I approach it, how I put my hands on it, what keys to press and why. Not to learn a single piece and hasta la vista, I've done my work. No, I just want to give you the tools to create what you want to create, not what I taught you to create. That's a very different thing. And once again, I'm not the greatest pianist ever. If Mozart could teach you, go ahead, follow his lessons. He would be the best. But today he is dead. And as far as I see on the internet, I don't see a lot of pianists that learned piano on their own and that teach how they did it. Most of the time, they teach you how to follow music theory. And that's not what I'm going to do. However, I never taught piano to anyone. I have experience in piano playing, piano composition, but I've never learned how to teach what I know how to do. And a lot of what I do is now intuitive. I don't really think about it when I approach the keyboard. This is going to be a deconstruction of everything I know to break it down into very understandable pieces for you. And this is the project I have, the huge project I have. I want to do a video series where I teach you, even if you're a good skilled player or a beginner, how to improvise, how to approach the keyboard into a different way, how to approach the keyboard with a different eye, and start composing what is really meaningful and yours, and what will leave a trace behind you. That is the most important. So all you have to do is to follow my next videos. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to follow this journey. This is going to be a long one, and this is going to be very challenging for me. But if you leave me feedback on what to improve, what to change, I will do as best of a job as I can. And I really think that we can do this together. Thanks a lot, guys. See you soon. Take care.